Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Saul here with another SAT Solve Live. Today, I'll be going over the digital SAT, NMSQT, the digital PSAT 10, the NMSQT, practice test 2 on the Blue Book app. You may already know this if you've been seeing this before, but I have never seen these tests before, so you'll get to see how I work through these problems, even when I'm not sure of the answer. If you're lucky, you'll even get to see me make a mistake and potentially even how I recover from the mistake. There is a big disclaimer, though, with the PSATs. It does look like I have seen a good number of the questions before, so this is not going to be a completely unbiased run through. But I've noticed, at least my previous stream, that I actually have not, I didn't really remember the answers for any of them, for many of them at all. I even made a mistake, maybe because I was being a little arrogant. So hopefully this time around, I'll be able to keep a clean sheet, a perfect score, with no mistakes this time. If you are watching this live stream as a live stream, welcome. You can ask me any questions that you have in the chat. I won't be able to answer them right away, but I will review them after I'm finished with the modules. And if you're watching this as a replay, then I suggest that you look at my video description down here, video description, to get keyboard shortcuts for speeding up, slowing down, and skipping the chapters. This is a long video, so it'll help you watch the video. By the way, actually, no, that's all I need to say. So I guess we can get right into it. Oh, I forgot to sign in, so let me just sign in real quick. You know what else I forgot to do? I forgot to post this to my Discord server, so let me briefly mention my Discord server. If you guys need a group of people to study with, we do have some perennially online nerds in our server, which you can find the link for in my description as well. Okay, and before I start this, I actually just want to quickly post to my Discord server that I've actually begun live streaming, so I'm going to do that right now. Solving PSAT 10. Okay, just did that. Just made that post. Quick comment on my current approach and even my personal condition. I feel a little bit out of it today. I woke up. I don't know. My routine's been a little bit messed up this week because I've been doing. I kind of worked late yesterday and that kind of messed up some stuff. But anyway. I don't feel 100%, but that doesn't really count as an excuse because this is the PSAT and I'm pretty sure I can get a perfect score. I just need to not make the same kind of mistake that I made last time, which is not defending the entire answer choice. I was just sort of looking for... I made a mistake that I see my students make all the time and I tell them not to make, and I give them a technique to not make that mistake. And it was very avoidable mistake. I just needed to fully defend my answer choices, which I didn't do for one of my answer choices. I was overconfident on one of those answer choices. I do have a general strategy of how I approach the tests, but I'll just let my actions do the talking. So you can kind of just watch what I do and notice what I do, the way that it's different from the way you solve the test. I'm not very eloquent today. I'm a little bit verbose, but this is the best I can manage at the moment. Okay. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get into practice test number 2. Okay. Faulkner's writing style. Contains a long passage and tribute that is a perfect pastiche. Uh, imitation, sure. Uh, I was using a much more literary term, but sure. Um, I was also thinking tribute would have worked. It contains many words. A dialect, the Puerto Rican dialect, contains words from Tainos and Africans. Trace to. Trace to. Oh, what? I don't think I saw that word, but okay. Perfect prediction. The invention altered the industry. Sure. Uh, argue that it fundamentally altered the industry, revolutionized, transformed the industry. Okay. Uh, radar and sonar can detect objects or people through walls, but they are too costly. Okay. Comparatively cheaper alternative, cheap way. Okay. Inexpensive. Devon, what's up? Early British postal system required the cost of mail delivery to be paid upon receipt. Inventive strategies to avoid payment to improve the system, reforms or changes or improvements or reforms were. Oh, actually, I've seen that question before, and I think I subconsciously remember the answer. Okay, anyway. Um, the collection was titled. Okay, this is a map collection. To create the collection, he consulted. Okay, so we have a topic, and then we transition to the method of how he did it. So to describe how this guy made this thing, to describe how this guy, yeah, exactly. Um, that was a close to perfect prediction. No, these are not new tests, not very new. This is PSAT number 2. A study by Dr. Paul Hanel concluded politeness, disagree, values. Okay, if you think about if you prime them with values conversations first, it helps. 2 groups. One group writes the values. Control group writes about anything. And yes, obviously they're more civil. So what's the structure? And this is just a very basic science structure. Main purpose of the text is to present a study. To present a study. To explain, I guess D. Just double checking ABC real quick, but yes. All right. What's up, somebody? Text 1, microprotein, alternative to meat. Environmental impact is lower, closer to chicken pork. It's only available to advanced economies, such as a cheaper substrate. I don't know what a substrate is in this case, but I thought substrate had to do with like geology. It's kind of confusing. Cattle farming, global deforestation. Okay, yeah, it's bad. Has high impact. 20% with microprotein would help with deforestation, but only a small change in water. Okay, so text 2 talks about water versus forests, whereas text 1 only talks about the actual costs and limitations by industry or by economy. Since water, yeah. Text 1 would respond to the study findings in text 2 by saying that it's similar to chicken and pork. Similar to chicken and pork, and would not say anything about the water per se, just maybe generally agree. So I'm kind of just looking for, by noting that most people, nope. Oh, what? No, that's kind of. Oh, okay. I'm in process elimination. I can't find a prediction because this one's actually a little hard for me to predict. So I'm going to go into process elimination real quick by emphasizing that agriculture would remain static. What the heck? No. I see the chicken pork versus beef thing. Um, yeah, I forgot that text two talks about beef only, whereas text one talks about both. That was a whole clash that I didn't even notice. I think actually my brain definitely isn't functioning at 100% right now. I probably would have noticed that in a different stream. Um, Wait, so can I make a prediction? Yeah, so when we're talking about beef versus chicken and pork, he would say, yeah, we should really try to do it because it helps with the deforestation, along with the general environmental impact. Yeah, B. Okay. Wow. That took me way too long. My brain was a little. I got stuck there. But I am 100% confident I don't need to go back and look at it anymore. Um, Archaeologist. Brain. My brain. Okay, archaeologists discover something. It was at a certain time. It has a certain significance. Okay. Discovery's main topic is this thing that they discovered, the rune stone in Norway. Okay, yep. Uh, Microplastics are these things. Areas with these. Okay, that's context. So there's like a wave thing. But it's not the only thing. It's a new hypothesis. We have a hypothesis. Can't be the only thing. Surfactants and have a wave reducing effect. Okay. So there's a double whammy. Okay. So we have a hypothesis and then new evidence, and then what did they discover about the surfactants? That actually reduces the waves. Oh, alone, yes. They have a much stronger than my. Alone is the key word there. It has to be A. I'm just double checking B, C, and D. But yeah. Uh, Incorporated, unincorporated. Oh, brain. Help me out. I might have to take a break after module one. Holy crap. Okay. Um, Unincorporated, self-employed. Okay, I kind of get this. So construction has a lot of unincorporated self-employment. And which one has? Oh yeah, all four of them has higher unincorporated, but business is the one that's the closest. Okay. Well, dude, why is this Zoom so garbage? All right. Um, in order to receive the benefits, showed that the highest incorporated rate. Oh my God, such a stupidly easy question. Is the business people? Okay, management, business, financial services. That's incorporated. Yep. Dude, that was okay. Whatever. Such a overly easy, honestly. That one. In the novel, admires ambition to the exclusion of. So ambition is the most important thing for Joanna. Joanna. Um, Otherwise, not at all. Yeah, yeah. That has to be A. Okay. She needs to only care about ambition. The reason A is hard for some of you guys is because purpose and ambition are not direct synonyms, but in this context, you can figure it out. Humility scores for participants, scenario responses. I'm glad that I'm seeing a bunch of questions I haven't seen. This is cool. Humility scores. When you have a mistake, your humility goes up. When you have a mistake but you don't learn, then your humility does not go up. Your actual humility goes down. Mistake without learning. That's so funny. Okay, I don't fully. I want to know what this experiment actually is, so I'm looking at it, and this zoom is pissing me off. Holy hell! Oh my god. Anyway, Jiahu, humility from reflection, mistake that resulted in learning, which I think is reflection. Yeah, learning, because reflection on lessons learned. There we go. It's kind of they're not direct synonyms, but in this context, they are synonyms. Um, okay, it's funny. I just want to double check the control group. Yeah, control group were not asked to reflect on a mistake. Okay. Hilarious. If you reflect on a mistake and there's no particular lesson, then you actually become more arrogant than if you just than the control. Yeah. So exhibited the managers reflected resulted in more humility than the other two. Sure. This one's kind of poorly written because this one should actually be about the control. It should focus on the control. For a hard question, you would have to focus on the control, not the other two groups. Um, Actually, I might be wrong on that one because no, the hypothesis is it really should be a focus on the control. But anyway, it's I don't. It feels like the College Board has two sets of writers, and one set of writers just uses is responsible for the easier questions, and then the other set of writers is responsible for the harder questions. It's like a little, it's like messed up. I feel like the people who are responsible for the harder questions should also be writing the questions for the easy questions, right? So there's a bit of a weird qualitative difference. Um, if an animal has been extinct, I can't speak. Oh my god, today's not my day. How can they learn what color it was? Hey, melanos, I don't know, frick. M's produce pigment shaped differently depending on the colors so that they could infer the color from the shape. Infer the color from the shape. Yeah, that is a perfect prediction. Reek and colleagues. What's up, Lightning? Decision-making mode influences non-environmental versus yes environmental plans. Electricity plans. I can't speak. Holy crap. Okay. Affect mode versus role mode. Emotional is affect and social is role. So basically, who is the more which way of thinking is the more environmentally conducive? Calculation mode, which is actually, no. There's three modes, and I completely misread it. Yes, calculation mode. These are the bastards. That participants using a calculation mode are cost and inconvenience. So they find that the inconvenience is really high. Burdens on them. Yeah, has to be focusing on this. So this is for me. My perfect prediction is C. My perfect match, I mean, is C. But for some reason I just want to double check A, B, and D. Maybe because I made a mistake last stream. Here we go. Nope. Okay. All right. The laws of physics are identical for both jugglers, regardless of there we go, motion to each other. Tortoises can be found there is a tortoise that goes by two names and appears. Okay. For example, the 22nd Amendment, which limits the law number of terms that presidents can serve, was proposed. Okay. By analyzing the level of decay, they can establish the age. When radioactive elements aren't present, they turn to stratigraphy, to estimate how old a fossil is based on something. Horsepower is a unit. The measurement is based on how much and how quickly weight can be moved. For example, 1 is equivalent to the amount of power it takes to lift. Yes, okay. Double checking, is there a colon by any chance? Nope. Okay. Water is pushed eastward in the north, but rotation interference from nearby land masses together causes it, it's plural, sorry, rotation interference, cause it, the water, to swirl. Okay. Why am I taking so long? It's just I'm being a little underconfident right now because I can tell that I'm not 100% right now. Scientists had to develop accurate mathematical model. Had to develop it. Who wrote, thankfully, ultimately, in order to create this, they had to develop as a breakthrough, ultimately, I didn't even see that. Okay. Yeah. Just double checking the other ones. But yeah, it's ultimately because it's kind of like there's an implied story in between, and then this is the final step of that story. Few New Yorkers have heard Thelma Pollard's name. However, many have seen her works. They don't know her, but they have seen her works. Her work. Not seen her working, but her work. That kind of messed me up for a second, but there we go. However, it's fine. I made my prediction. I'm just being careful to avoid the mistakes. Coastal Futures Conservatory. One such effort combines the audio with carbon levels. Okay, got it? Audio is distorted in effect or as a result. Thus, okay, there we go. Some atoms contain an excess of neutrons. Oh, wait, for this one, I really probably should just do how I normally do it. The thickness of lead 208's neutron skin. The thickness of lead 208's is 0.28 trillions. Introduce Pauline Hopkins to unfamiliar with the... So what would I include? I would include African American, genre defining, as in the Hugger's Daughter mystery novel. Oops, there we go. Nope. I want to introduce her. Where's her? Hugger's, African, there we go. Yes. Emphasize whose point of view the novel is told from. The point of view of Kaikeyi's. Okay. Kaikeyi, the villain. The villain of the Ramayana becomes a hero. So the Kaikeyi 2022 novel is told from the perspective of the villain. It's so direct. See, could have been harder. No. Yeah. Ugh. Bros, I am not good. I don't need to double check because I did put enough work into. I don't think I was overconfident on any of these. I think I did do my due diligence. I mean, there were a couple where I did like a prediction and a match, and I just moved on without double checking. That I momentarily thought, should I go back and double check? And I did skip like maybe 2 or 3 times. I didn't say it out loud, by the way. But generally speaking, compared to my last stream, I did double check more, just to make sure that the full answer choice was correct and all that stuff. Um, it looks like no one has questions, so I was gonna take some questions during this break. But if no one has questions, I'll just move on to module 2. I just really need I just need a break. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just get some water real quick. And if anyone shoots me a question in that time, then I'll chat about it, and then we can move on to module 2. BRB. It's not even gonna be a minute. I'll be right back. Don't bias me if you already know all the answers. Don't bias me. Actually, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna go back for module 1 anyway. Bro, I'm far from the mic, I know, but I wanna sort of disengage. Here, I'll bring the mic closer to me. I need a break right now. My brain is mush. You know what I'll do? I'm not getting any questions, but Lightning, thank you for the encouragement. Just to sort of chill out for a sec, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just play around the Wordle and just relax for a bit, all right? Because I technically still have 9 minutes on this clock. So here we go. Wordle time. I feel drunk, but this is such a bad word. D and K are not very common, so G is more common. So maybe I'll do from this is just a Vietnamese name, and I'm in Vietnam, so um, okay, train. All right, I'm gonna go for something more boring. Oh, hey, look at me! Wow. What? How do you put an N in the middle? Um, tonic. Okay. Tunic is also a word. Hang on. Okay. Tunic. Would they go for tunic or tonic? Okay. I'm gonna go for. Oof. I feel like they would go for the slightly more rare tunic. But tonic is kind of, yeah. No, it's definitely less rare. Would they go for the more rare word? I haven't had a 2 out of 6 in a long time. Now, by the way, there are potentially other words that I haven't noticed, but I did double check the endings. So like, you know, like tinea is like, oh, that's like a fungus, right? Tinea pedis. This is like a Latin word for fungus. Hang on, let me just tinea pedis. Oh, tinea. Sorry, my bad. All right, I was close. Um, all right, I'm gonna go for. Should I go for rare or not rare? I don't know. Three, two, one, go. God damn it! It's so annoying. Uh, lightning, lightning. We just we missed that one. Uh, okay. So annoying. All right, I have 6 minutes left on my, but that gave me a little bit of a laugh because that was kind of silly. So I have 6 minutes left on my clock, and I feel like, I'm sorry guys, I'm just so out of it. I'm just gonna take a little bit more of a break, and I will do timestamps for anyone who's watching this video later, so you can skip all this, okay? But I just need to like get my brain going. What was my skill score? Skill was 99 and my luck was 61, which, God. Anyway, um, connections time, and then I'll chill out for a bit. Times, new, Roman. They always try to trick you with the first couple to get you think. So if you do this, you start thinking about fonts, and then it makes it harder to think. So it's good to shuffle right away, but I don't want to. Um, the times, the mint, the original, the wait, hang on, mint condition, perfect condition, original condition, unused condition. 1, 2, 3, 4. New, oaf, unused, new, original, perfect, mint. Okay, forget original. Mint, unused, new, perfect. Not original. I feel like that's kind of weird. Now, I have these four in my pocket, but I do feel a little bit awkward about original, so I want to see if I can knock out another four first. So we have a fellow, we have a resident, we have a friend, we have an intern. Huh. These are terms that we use for. A fellow is in academia, a resident is in medicine, an intern, a countryman. Huh, a Roman. Oof, that's rough. Okay. Hey, fellow. Hey, friend. Hey, countryman. Hey, resident. Hey, fellow. Ooh, I don't know. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. But friend makes it really hard to go with the academic version of this. So I think I'm gonna go with the sort of countryman, friend, fellow, resident version of this. But now that makes me feel awkward about Roman, because I feel like Roman could be part of that and you get rid of the resident. But that's strange, right? It should be countryman, friend, fellow, resident. Ooh, that I can't find an obvious four. Lend me your ear. Lend me your. Oh, the Roman could still make sense. Oh, dear fellow friends and countrymen. There's like a whole phrase, right? There's like a phrase there. I'm trying to remember that phrase. It's messing me up. Um, Let me see if there's another one. Times. Lend me your ear. Friends. Fellow countrymen, lend me your ear. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think it could be those four, actually. That's crazy. Friends, fellow Romans, lend me your ear. Fellow Romans and countrymen. Oh, wait. There's a whole phrase there, and I don't know which. I'm forgetting the phrase. By the way, I still have 2 minutes on my clock before I go to module 2. Annoying. I'm going to start with these four first, because this. Ah. All right, original. Oh my God, are you serious? Mint condition, perfect condition, original condition, unused perfect condition, unused condition. I already did this, right? Oh, dude, are you seriously? Are you serious? Dude, this is not boding well for Module 2 right now. Pristine. The word perfect messed me up. Okay. Friends, fellow countrymen, lend me your ear. Friends, fellow Romans and country. Friends, Romans. Ugh, dude, I am tripping. That is messing me up. Okay. Perfect, resident, intern, time, intern. A resident, an intern, attending. Hang on. An attending, an intern, a fellow, a resident. Huh. I'm actually just kind of guessing at this point. This is mad. This is mad. Yeah. Wow. Weird. I somehow got that one. I have 35 seconds. I guess this is the 4 hour that's remaining now from that phrase that I was trying to create. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. By the way, I forgot to say that this phrase was from Shakespeare. So pocket times perfect town. Perfect square, pocket square, Times Square. Okay. Well, now I can move on to module 2 after I share this here. And now module 2 has begun. Perfect timing. How would I compare this to the SAT in terms of difficulty? It does feel easier, but I am a little bit biased. Or I find my own judgment hard to... I don't even trust my own judgment right now because I'm so out of it. Let's get into it now. But it has to be easier. It's the PSAT. The way elements are balanced affects our perception. Symmetry, importance. Asymmetry, difference. Radial, center. What a photograph conveys is therefore largely the part due to how it is balanced. Contingent on, ooh, nice. Good word. Dependent on, contingent on. Cuttlefish appear good at, very good at self-control. Increasing reliance on energy should expand the capacity. I have seen this, by the way. For storage, we want to have a lot of storage to mitigate the effects of solar energy collection, of, kind of erratic, like the difficulty of solar energy. Mitigate the difficulty of solar energy collection is the general prediction I would make. The effects of fluctuations, that's kind of like a double, it's like an overly complicated way of saying that, but okay. Effects of fluctuations. It's like a sort of redundant way of talking, honestly, but whatever. Many artworks produced exclusively for internet have become inaccessible because they require outdated software. Discontinued, outdated, defunct. There we go. Marshlands is, I've seen this one as well. But the question might be different from the thing, but here we go. Transitions. Where the title is Marshlands is 1895. So, hey, among the wild rice, the lizard talks, shrills. The goose seeks a sheltering where rushes grow and lichens cling. So rice, rushes, lichens, those are all setting. Lizard and goose are animals. Cranes, up in the setting of the night. And then we have twilight. Oh, so we have a transition here. So the first 6 lines were all about various animals in the setting. And then the last 4 lines, we have the twilight and the shadows. Stealing like a spirit, like kind of running around like a spirit. And then we have the sedges, the vapors, and the marshes. So we kind of start with the animals, and then we move into kind of the more general setting. And the overall structure is, and I do remember this question, but if you just look, yeah, this one I actually just genuinely just remember. But yeah, it has to be this one. I mean, I chose that the first time too. Um, okay, so transitions. Let's look for transitions. So we have an American childhood. We have a young girl in Pittsburgh. I walked. We have the freedom. I walked, memorized the neighborhood. At night in bed, I gave myself challenges. And then here's the function. This is just illustrating the challenges. It is illustrating the challenges that she thinks about at night in bed. That is correct. Ionich, Russian city, referred to the city of S, referred to as the city of S. If newcomers to S complained that it was dull, the residents would inhabit that would answer that actually it's amusing. We have a library, we have a club. The club has balls, and families are pleasant. The Turkins, accomplished and enlightened. What does the text suggest about the Turkins? That they are enlightened, but also, by the way, that it suggests we are doing an inference question, a detailed inference question. So this is a detailed inference question. They actually might be kind of boring. Now, B is the best answer, though. It's the most direct. Yeah. Crazy to, yeah, I mean, you know, people think that reading the passage is such a waste of time, but look at me reading the fucking passage and talking about it the whole time and not running out of time. Who's right? Blues Legacies and Black Feminism, Davis bases her analysis in her analysis, her general analysis, partly on the recordings of Ma Rainey and Bessie Smith. Okay. I have seen this passage before. Rainey and Smith improvised the lyrics. Okay, so that's just background. Now we have a methodology issue. We have a problem with the methodology. Labor intensive, because we have to transcribe the lyrics, but the lyric recordings were not very clear. Okay, so we are suggesting that the songs. So what do we know about the songs? We know that the songs are recorded they were sung in the 1920s. They were recorded in the 1920s. They had wordplay. They changed the lyrics. They improvised the lyrics, and it was hard to listen to them. Okay, so C is the only thing you can choose, even just through process elimination. And C makes sense as a prediction because she had to listen to the recordings. Okay, she had to listen to the recordings to make her transcriptions. As in, she didn't have an option, which kind of supports that answer choice. Main idea of the text: Unbearable Lightness of Being, very famous book, never read it, probably should. Karenin is a dog. I've never seen this passage. Karenin belongs to TNT and not liking the move to Switzerland from Prague. Hated change. Dog time cannot be plotted on a yes. It moves in a circle, which they too, unwilling to dash madly ahead, turn round and round the face. They in and out, following the same path. They are routines. In Prague, new chair, flower pot, displeasure, So this is just an illustration of the previous idea. Okay, so we have a phenomenon, we have a general reason, and then we have an illustration, and then we have a metaphor at the end, which you don't really have to catch, honestly. Yeah. So the main idea of the text is that Karenin hates change. Yeah, that's A. A is just a really complicated way of saying what I just said. I'm not even going to double check B and C and D. I did briefly see B, but I'm not going to double check C and D. That was just exactly what I was thinking. It's just a much more verbose version of what I was thinking. Gorgets or necklaces. I can't speak. I can't speak, but my thinking is better than Module 1 now. I am a little sharper now. So thank God, because I was struggling through Module 1. Gorgets have been ceremonial for tribes for centuries. The Fairfield gorget, found in 1958, but it's actually probably from the Mississippian period. But weirdly, it's from a jaguar, which is not Missouri, so it might have moved. Okay, so it's from the Mississippian period, but it moved into Missouri. So it's from the Mississippian period. Oh, it looks like other art from the region from the Mississippian period, but it's from Mexico. Therefore, they argue that long-distance trade of Mexican art objects brought it to Mississippi, and then they made it Mississippian style. It's a fusion. It's a fusion gorget. And we're trying to support this explanation. Okay, yeah. So we just want to say it was brought from Mexico to Missouri, and then adapted. Yeah, it's earlier. Well, that could help, but I mean, that's only barely. The range dramatically. No, that doesn't have anything to do with the claim. The an ancient is found at a site that dates to the Mississippian period and is close to where the. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That one confirms that it's from Mexico. Has to be C. Certain works by present-day artists. Yeah. So C, I had to do this through process elimination because I couldn't make a direct prediction. Sometimes it can be hard to predict evidence questions because you have to support the thing. It's not the other way around. So yeah, just had to work through it by process elimination on that one. By like literally reading every single one, just trying to figure out which one would match. 11, let's see. Let's read the graph first. Ticket prices, 2 studies. Participative pricing messaging. Okay, this PPP. PPM is the treatment. Oh no, there's 2 treatments. Pay what you can is a message. Pay what you think it's worth, and pay what you want. And actually, people pay what you think it's worth. They pay more when they. And that's awesome, actually. Pay what you want is lower, and pay what you can is higher. Hilarious. Okay, I mean, I already got it. The results illustrate that. Oh, geez, this Zoom is such awful UI nonsense. The results illustrate both the heterogeneity, okay, and how sellers can benefit. Okay, so there's 2. Okay, so heterogeneity means all 3 of them are different, and sellers can benefit is, hey, sellers, tell them to choose what they think it's worth. So in all 3, nope. Within each group, there was wide variation. Good, that's what I was looking for, heterogeneity. But the students tended to assign a higher value. No. No. That's not what I was predicting, and that's the this whole interface makes it too. It's definitely not D, but I'm not going to do that again. That took way too much time to do. ABC. The students tended to value more. Okay, so maybe we'll start here. You know what? I'm looking at the students versus the age diverse group, but the age diverse group might be a control, so I now have to look at this. Okay, here we go. Participative pricing, in which purchasers choose a price, can enable sellers to capitalize on heterogeneous values, but doing so requires careful messaging. 171 and 83 students. I see. The heterogeneity of consumer valuations. And then students is group 2, right? Yeah, students group 2. Students tended to value, then the, yep, nope. Within each group of participants, wide variation, good. Heterogeneity, but that's not the prediction I was, okay. I want heterogeneity first, okay. Okay, that, but both groups tended to choose price actual value, that's off topic. The students tended to value the constant tickets more highly, but they, when the value, oh, okay. Yeah, it has to be C, but man, what a mess. Completely. That is not a great way to defend heterogeneity, honestly, but I see why. I see why. So for the first part of this claim, a sentence does support heterogeneity, and the second part does support the uh, the benefit part of the claim. So it has to be C. But wow, that was rough. That was okay. So you know what? I actually fucked myself on that one by not even following my strategy. I was kind of underestimating the question by just not reading it. And so I actually wasted a lot of time because I didn't read it the first time. I would have saved probably like 30 seconds if I just read it the first time. And that's what happens when you don't follow your own strategy, Saul. Okay. So, by the way, guys, I'm suddenly having a bit of an emergency. So I just need to take a break right now. I will be back within less than 5 minutes, but I'm going to pause this. I'm going to save and exit. Okay. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to come back in less than 5 minutes. I'm sorry, I just have an emergency. BRB. Okay, emergency dealt with. Normally, I wouldn't have answered your question until after I finished the module, but since I'm taking a break in the middle anyway, let me just quickly answer. What strategies do I use during verbals? I mean, that would be a much longer lecture, so I'll just simplify it down to the steps that I'm taking right now that you can confirm, but I basically read the passage, I break it into parts. I don't focus on summarizing, I focus on the transitions, which is meaningfully different, even though it might sound the same. Then I predict the answer based on the question stem and the passage without looking at the answer choices, and then I try to match. If I find a perfect match, I move on. I don't even do process elimination. If I don't find a perfect match, then I do process elimination once, maximum. I don't do process elimination twice ever, unless I have finished the rest of the test. So I come back to it later if I'm at that position. Now, on one of those questions, you saw me try to do a prediction and then a match, and then I failed. I think it was just the most recent question, and then what happened was I looked at A, and then I had a new insight into the passage from A. So I actually started process elimination with A, but then through trying to do process elimination on it, I realized that I didn't know something about the passage. So then I restarted the entire process. I did the reading again, and then a new prediction, and then I did a match / process elimination. That was painful. That was horrible. That was fucking mangled. I screwed myself on that one because I didn't follow my own strategy. So kids always want to skip sentences because they literally will save like 10 seconds. But honestly, saving 10 seconds is such a short-sighted way of taking the test if you are trying to aim above 650 at all. So, I mean, if you are scoring below 650, there's so many questions that you're just not gonna get right that it's okay to just keep skipping. But like, if you're aiming for like a 700 or anything like that, dude, like, time is not the problem. Now you think that time is the problem, it's not actually the problem. There's a whole and the whole industry is. You're not being served by the industry because the industry is all based on tips and tricks for kids who basically don't study at all. And so, they're just trying to get these kids who are having like 550 as like their baseline and trying to get them to 600 with like 5 hours of effort. Like, okay, like, sure, but is that the goal for you? Are you going for 550 trying to hit 600, and are you trying to put 5 hours of effort maximum? Or are you trying to go from 650 to 750, and are you willing to spend 50 hours of effort? Like, there's like totally different solutions for these groups of people. So I'm not going to go on a whole rant because I want to finish this first. So let's get into it. Whew. I'm okay. I'll be fine. That was very costly. I probably spent like close to three minutes on that question. Let's move on. Oumuamua, unique. A failed reason. Potential new reason. Unrealistic explanations, but we're dismissing them with an example. But now we have a new one. Wait, the example is what? Geometric effects from the composition. Gaseous expulsion of hydrogen from the body. Okay. So it accelerates very quickly because of the hydrogen potentially, which is more realistic than the compositional. Okay. Well, because of course a composition of the thing would not change the acceleration of the thing. while preserving energy, right? In physics, or conservation of energy, was it? Yeah. Which statement would support the claim made by Bergner? Um, yeah, hydrogen is turning into gas due to maybe heating. Warming to allow for outgas. Yeah, that's actually weirdly. I saw D right away because why did I look at D? I was looking at hydrogen gas and I was looking at radiation. Yeah, I was looking at radiation and it seemed like the closest to what I was predicting. I'm actually not going to look at A, B, and C. I'm just not going to look at it because I know that was my prediction. That was my prediction. That one, I actually literally on this one, just by following my prediction, following my process, I just have not only 100% confidence on question. What's it? What question is this? This UI. Question 12. Not only do I have 100% confidence in question 12, I probably completely recovered from the time waste from question 11 just from that, from not reading A, B, and C. I guarantee you, everyone who's watching this video, you spent 3 minutes, 2-3 minutes on that question because you were reading all of A and all of B and all of C. You completely screwed yourself on question 12 there. Okay. A main goal is to advance works by black musicians, new works by black musicians, young artists with mentors and training and guidance. Numerous organizations offer similar kinds of support, so now we're suddenly pivoting away. So we have a general example, and then now we're making a generalized claim. Sorry, we have a specific example, and then we have a generalized claim, suggesting that not just African American artists, but other painters, writers, blah, blah, blahs can. Ages is kind of the wrong word here, but sure. Okay, maybe B, almost certainly B. Yeah, and C and D, established and musician, yeah, has to be B. I did do a process elimination on that one. I did actually double check A, B, C, and D because B was just a little bit more specific than my prediction was, so I just felt a little bit uncomfortable. Wanted to double check the other ones. Analyze the genomes of more than 100 domesticated dogs. $11,000 years ago to the present, Siberia. Okay, lots of details about this, but got it. They found that the dogs constituted a genetically isolated population of Arctic breeds. Cool. Wait. Until 2,000 years ago. Interbreeding with Near Eastern dog breeds. Now, Near Eastern is Middle East, right? And Siberia is like East. Okay? Beginning around 2,000 years ago, artifacts from Near East. So the people show no evidence of having traveled outside. So in fact, 2,000 years ago, people from the Near East moved into Siberia. Okay. Yeah, that's A. I don't even need to double check B, C, and D. That is exactly my prediction. Actually, normally I would. I'm actually doing the same thing that I did on the previous stream. I'm kind of like flexing my strategy instead of doing what I would really do. So I would normally just double check B, C, and D on this one. B is the opposite of what the passage is saying. C is dogs from. Yeah. That one's actually kind of easy, but moving on. 15, no more prediction, it's just grammar now. Before the park's construction, the surface temperature 30 minutes outside was 0.1, then that of a control area. After construction, After construction, yeah. While construction, these temporary supports, a construction system known as false work, were removed. Solarpunk, in the story Efficiency, an artificial intelligence that absorbs sustainable energies, redistributing them. An artificial intelligence powers Chicago's energy grid. In modern plays, actors typically won't acknowledge the audience, as to do so breaks the fourth wall. Now, A could work if it was a comma and not a period. That would have been a better question. It would have been a harder question. 19. A butterfly is a painting. Butterfly attempts to make use of the entire visual light spectrum, sporting Okay, this is just an illustration of the previous side, of the left side of the colon, so we move on. The Limon technique is known for its emphasis on breath control and interplay of weight and weightlessness. Dancers, for example, may explore. Okay. Transition. So let me zoom in now again. Back to predictions. 1,500-mile Alaska Highway constructed it in under 9 months due to the skilled work of African American soldiers. Overlooked for decades. However, recently we declared a day of recognition. However, then because it happens afterwards, right? So it's the only choice. Observing, it wasn't my prediction, but it's the only choice that makes sense. Observing that a fire in a closed container soon went out. Leading scientists did not conclude that fresh air is necessary. Instead, many theorized that the air had a so-called phlogiston substance. As a result, from that context, given this context, when they first isolated oxygen, he assumed it was dephlogisticated, which is, yeah, so as a result, for this reason, there we go. Scientific understanding about the glass's origin has evolved. Okay, evolution of scientific understanding of glass's origin. So they originally thought this, but now we think this. We used to think what? Has evolved, okay. 2017 concluded that, the evolution is grass fires melting the soil. But then 4 years later, comets brought them. The comets created them. Okay. Grass fires versus comets. Yep. Narrative about the creation of robots. We're trying to begin a narrative. That's a different verb than usual. We're trying to begin a narrative about the creation of robots. Okay, so about the creation of robots, just generally speaking. Okay, by interlecting their bodies, ants can form bridges. to design these quadruped robots. She did this. Each robot. Okay, what the heck? I guess this is the beginning. What the hell? All right. After inspired by ants, set out to design. Yeah, that's the beginning. Okay. Emphasize a difference in katydids and crab spiders use mimicry. Crab spiders mimic flowers to ambush, and katydids mimic leaves to hide. Crab spiders are aggressive, katydids are not. Well, A is also a difference. And we're talking about the usage of mimicry, so we are looking for C. Using mimicry to ambush, to hide. Yeah. Okay. That one's an interesting one. That one can definitely cause people to just choose A if they're not reading the notes. Wants to describe the exhibition that Guerrero curated in 2018. What's the exhibition in 2018? That is PLW. PLW with 7 emerging Latino artists in the Whitney. PLW at the Whitney. 2018, I mean, sorry. So that is B. Okay, has to be B. And question 27, let's finish this off. I have plenty of time left, and I'm not going to go back and double check anything. One of the poems to illustrate the sestina form. Sestina has 39, and I actually know it from background knowledge because I used to study poetry. So we're trying to use one of these poems, the FS or the TA. As a sestina, TA contains 39 lines, 6 N-words. In this case, daughter, friend, just double checking, daughter, friend, correct, mother, lover, yes, myself. That alternate in a set pattern, correct, that is B, has to be B. Just double checking really quickly, A, B, A, C, D. But yeah, that is. We're trying to illustrate the sestina form, and we just did that. All right, so I'm done. I just what do you call it? I struggled through these 2 modules. They are the PSATs, so they're obviously less challenging for me. It's kind of okay for me to struggle. This time I was a little bit more cautious than my previous stream. Instead of just sort of flexing my strategy on you to like demonstrate my point, because sometimes I get into that mentality because I'm also a teacher, not just a speedrunner, right? I have my teacherly habits of trying to prove my point all the time, but yeah. So sometimes that kind of destabilizes my actual approach because I'm too self-conscious of what I'm doing, and so I actually I wasn't really making the optimal choices all the time. And it doesn't help that I have so much time. I mean, this test is just too easy for me. It takes like I'm talking, I'm like responding to chat. I mean, this is not like the previous SAT. The previous SAT, I didn't have the time to talk like this, And it's not like other tests. It's not like GMAT or LSAT, which are much harder. The SAT is just they just sort of sold out because of the test optional movement. They made it too easy. Obviously, this is also the PSAT, which makes it even easier than usual. So yeah, I was more cautious, even though my mental condition was definitely worse than my previous stream. I was more cautious than my previous stream, so I am predicting a perfect 54 out of 54. Let's see what happens when I actually log in. So I'm gonna briefly hide my screen as I log in. And then once I log in, I will show my screen again. Okay, logging in now. Thank you guys. The PSAT and the digital PSAT and the digital SAT do not differ substantially. They're the same test, except the questions are easier, and therefore they don't want to mislead you. If you get a perfect score, it's actually a 760, not 800 on a given section. So I got my 760. I redeemed myself. And the only difference was that I actually made sure to double check the answer choices whenever I wasn't 100% confident. So it's theoretically possible I got a perfect scaled score of 760 even though I got a question wrong. So let me just make sure I didn't get any questions wrong, and I got no questions wrong. All right. I'll answer any questions now that you guys have and then finish off this stream. Yes, you can prepare the DSAT by studying the digital PSAT. I actually strongly recommend starting with the PSAT if you've just never taken it, if you've just never taken the test yet, or if you just haven't started preparing yet, just start with the PSAT first. Use that as a way to just get a sense of where you are, how far away you are from a 760 first. But if you are like obviously beyond the 760 level, that the PSAT is just too easy for you, then you can go straight into the SAT. But if you're still struggling at like the 650 level, it doesn't matter whether you start with the PSAT or the DSAT or the PSAT or the regular SAT because you're under 760. You're not capped by the PSAT. So go ahead and just do that. I talk about this. Sorry, I can't speak this. I don't know how to read the Cyrillic alphabet, so I don't know how to pronounce your name. Kekar. Kekar? I don't know. That's a guess. Because it looks kind of like a key from Greek, but I don't know what that is. But a guy with a Cyrillic name, you can improve your wording context by making predictions. It's something I talked about. If you actually rewind maybe like 20, 30 minutes, I have a whole thing where I talk about predictions. But just go and look at, like, just look at the way I solved it. I literally zoom in on the passage, right? I don't even look at the answer choices. I just figure out the logic first, and then I make my guess. Once you do that, you will definitely improve on word and context. People online keep getting confused by all these stupid tips about how you shouldn't read the passage. No, you should fucking read the passage. Like, don't be stupid. This is a reading test. It's a reading test. Read the fucking passage. Like these people online and these people with their Princeton review books or their Barron's books or whatever, the whole reason they make these stupid tips up is because they know that it's like obviously, dudes, if I give you illegal drugs, you're gonna feel good, right? You're gonna feel good. It's gonna be a very short-term effect, but you're gonna feel good, and because you feel good, you're gonna be willing to, in that moment of feeling good, right? You're gonna be willing, like if I give you drugs, you're gonna be willing to do dumb shit with me because you're feeling good. Similarly, as somebody who's trying to sell books, if I make you feel good, that it's like actually really easy, right? And then I tell you this tip, like you're at the bookstore or you're reading a book sample on Kindle or whatever, and there is a tip, and then there's a couple of practice questions, right? And the tip is don't read the passage. And the practice questions are designed in such a stupid way that you don't have to read the passage. But they're custom designed to prove that point. Well, that's just like giving you drugs, dude. And what's going to happen? You're going to buy the book, and I get my $30, and I'm done with you. It doesn't even matter what the rest of the book says. Now I already got my $30. I'm good. As long as the rest of the $30 looks respectable, like I've actually put some effort into it, you're not going to refund that book, right? So yeah, obviously these stupid tips are all over the world because it's what sells, but it doesn't actually improve your score. Unless you are literally at the 550 level and you're just trying to get a 600 and you're literally going to put like 5 hours of work or 10 hours of work maximum before taking the test, then yeah, maybe these tips will help you to get like to a 600, but it's definitely not going to help you to get a 700. So please, just read. Read. Don't look at the answer choices. Make a prediction. This is how you're going to get better. If no one else has any questions, I'm going to go. But if you have further questions and you missed the timing in the stream, you can ask those questions by joining the Discord server, which you can find in the description below. Okay, and if this video has been helpful for you, I sound all jaded and annoyed, but it's just because I'm just not on it today, guys. My bad. But if this video has been helpful for you, despite the fact that I'm kind of totally out of it and had an emergency in the middle and, and whatever, right? Please hit that like button and let the YouTube algorithm know that this video should be shown to more people. Help your fellow neighbors of the internet. And if you'd like similar videos in the future, please consider subscribing to my channel. I will continue to do SAT and reading-oriented content for the foreseeable future. Finally, if you would like to chat with me, I do have a weekly members-only stream, so you can consider joining my channel membership and becoming a member. This weekly members-only stream is not only for the SAT. It can be for your homework, college prep, or just general life questions. You just ask me any questions you have, and I'll answer to the best of my ability. Thanks for watching. Glad to have you guys here with me. And as always, keep on learning, keep on growing. Peace.